And welcome to Hannity. And this Monday night, we have a lot of ground to cover, including a special Hannity investigation tonight into far-left elite universities. They believe they are above the law, entitled to tens of millions of your hard-earned tax dollars in spite of multi-billion-dollar endowments. Oh, and now Harvard is suing our country, demanding even more of your money. We've got the details. We'll also introduce you to the Democratic Party's weird new plan to see more relatable. The New York Times, they are defining this as dark woke. We'll explain. And Congresswoman Nancy Mace filmed a very tense encounter with a man at a makeup store. Here's a preview.
You're absolutely crazy.
I'm absolutely
crazy. And get out of my face.
You're insane.
Goodbye.
You're insane. You're gonna me. You're gonna be voted out so fast this year.
I'm not.
Wait for you to
I won by so much.
You're a disgrace to this state. That's what you are. You're a disgrace. I asked you a simple question, and you just to go on this tirade and tell me you.
Yeah, you.
Disgusting.
Get out of my face.
You.
Get out of my face. Try it. What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? Yep, I sure did.
Okay, and coming up, Congresswoman Mace will join us. She'll give us her details. And in our other news of the day segment, we're going to give you a huge, we'll give a huge thank you to President Trump, who saved all of you from another year of a very confused and confounded Joe Biden being led around the White House lawn by the Easter Bunny. Now it appears even the DNC is trying to purge Joe Biden's very strange Easter celebrations from their social media feeds. Only Jimmy Fallon will be able to explain that. And buckle up for our video of the day, a wild brawl at a golf course. This is not a hockey rink that did not end well for that shirtless guy. Didn't end well. But we begin tonight, this Monday night, with bad news for the Democratic Party. Just when you think they can't get any worse, well, just when you think that they've hit their bottom, they just keep digging. According to a brand new Gallup poll, confidence in Democratic leadership just hit an all-time low. It has literally never been lower, ever. Only 25% of respondents approve of the Democratic leaders in Congress. That is a whopping 9 points lower than the previous record low. And get this, voters under 30, they are overwhelmingly shifting toward Republicans. According to a Yale Youth poll, voters aged 18 to 21 now favor the GOP by double digits. This has been a remarkable and reliable voting bloc for Democrats for decades now. But Congressman Jim Clyburn, he's now blaming the far-left legacy media mob for not being helpful and supportive enough. Really? It's like state-run media. Take a look.
Well, I think the message that comes from the Democratic Party is a good message. The problem we've got, is that we have to depend upon the media to deliver it. If we have the Washington Post, for instance, caving to this wannabe dictator, and we've got other media entities that seem to rather push a narrative that will bring eyes to their newspapers or to their television sets and not really give a fair hearing or reporting to what we're doing.
Let's get this straight. If only the abusively biased, Trump-hating journalists in the state-run legacy media mob were just a little more liberal, all the Democrats' popularity woes, they would be solved instantaneously. And as you can see, the left is totally out of touch. Just look at Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen, who, couldn't be bothered to talk about his own constituents, Patty Morin, on the phone after her daughter, Rachel Morin, was brutally killed and raped by an illegal immigrant on that Maryland hiking trail, or the family of another Maryland constituent, Kayla Hamilton, same fate for her. But Chris Van Hollen had all the time in the world for his trip to El Salvador, that you paid for, by the way, to meet lovingly with a deported illegal immigrant who was identified as a possible gang member by two separate judges, accused of human trafficking by police, was a serial wife beater, according to his own wife in her own handwriting to police. But in order to score some kind of political point against Donald Trump, Van Hollen was more than willing to look past all of these glaring red flags. In fact, the senator didn't even bother to ask this guy whether, his new friend was a member of MS-13. Take a look.
Can you say with absolute certainty that he is not, nor has he ever been a member of the MS-13 gang? And did you ask him point blank?
Well, Dana, what Donald Trump is trying to do here is change the subject. The subject at hand is that he and his administration are defying a court order to give Abrego Garcia his due process rights.
But since you were the one person to have met with him, and since this is a thing, you say on social media, it's what we hear from Donald Trump and Republicans every day, all day long, you didn't ask him?
I didn't ask him that because I know what his answer is. What he told me was he was sad, traumatized that he was being in prison because he has committed no crimes.
Oh, okay. Entering the country illegally is not a crime anymore, thanks to Chris Van Hollen. He obviously doesn't care if he's a violent gang member. He just wants him back in the U.S. Maybe he'll let him move into his house. In fact, most Democrats seem to want the same thing. Even Tim Walz's daughter compared this illegal immigrant, if you can believe it, the day after Easter. We're reporting on this to Jesus. Now today, 4 more Democratic lawmakers, they have now traveled themselves to El Salvador in a desperate attempt to meet with their new hero. Take a look.
More importantly, we're here to raise awareness that Kilmar needs to come home. We need to build support here in El Salvador, but also in the United States. He must come home.
This is not just a threat to all people in the United States who could be illegally abducted, detained, and transported internationally against their will.
We have to draw the line here. We have to make a big deal about this. Members of Congress have to come here and use the privilege we have to advocate at the highest levels to make sure that Kilmar is brought home.
Why didn't they raise awareness when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris had wide open borders, known terrorists, known murderers, rapists, gang members, cartel members, 10 to 14 to million illegals entering our country? Why didn't they raise awareness and call that out at the time? They are lawmakers. Why didn't they insist that we have a rule of law in this country? This is insane. Remember, not long ago, this was the Democratic Party's stance on illegal immigration. Oh, how they have changed so quickly. Take a look.
I think we got to have tough conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes. And you have to try to learn English, and you have to wait in line.
Never thought I'd say it. Hillary sounds a lot like Donald Trump. Now, here we are in 2025. Democrats are trying to bring back an alleged gang member, human trafficker, who's been deported in our country illegally. It's almost hard to believe just how psychotic, radicalized this Democratic Party has become. Now, the DNC Vice Chair David Hogg is now plotting a new civil war within the Democratic ranks in order to purge less extreme candidates and Democrats from deep blue congressional districts. Now, with each passing day, the Democratic Party is only getting more and more radical, more and more extreme. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.